What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode here on the Falappi YouTube channel. And today we're doing a video that probably should have made a long time ago, but I guess it's kind of fitting now. I'm going to be giving you a tour of my 2012 Ram 1500. Tell you what I like about it, tell you what's wrong with it, tell you some of the stuff we're going to be doing to it this summer. Let's get into it, guys. See behind me, the white thing, is the gate. We've got a toolbox in the shop, and we'll do a little bit about that. What we're doing. What we have going on under the hood here is the stock. What we're going to do. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, why don't you think about going and subscribing? We do a lot of great stuff. We do a lot of abandoned content. We do a lot of stuff with cars, small engines, equipment, exploring, tools, basically anything I get myself into. And this summer, one of the things I want to do is put some time and effort back in to my 2012 Ram 1500. So today, I'm going to show you the truck, tell you my history with it, and some of the other cool and different features about it, including this cool paint color here. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So, like I said, guys, this is a 2012 Ram 1500. It's the Tradesman edition. However, the previous owner, or I guess the original previous owner, as far as I know, I'm the third owner of this truck. But whoever spec'd this truck out did some pretty interesting stuff when it came time, to go and put the build sheet in and, pick out what they wanted. The first thing that hits you is this color. The color is called Tequila Sunrise Pearl Coat. Now, for backstory, I bought this truck in the year 2002. It was December. I had wrecked my 2014 Impala couple months prior, and while I was waiting for it to get in the body shop, I basically decided, that car had some issues, but it was going to look the best that it had ever looked. So the perfect time to go and get rid of it and sell it was as soon as I got it back out of the body shop. And high school me always wanted, high school me wanted a four-door long bed truck. I never set out to buy a Ram, let alone an orange Ram. I always was much more preferential towards Fords and General Motors. In fact, I really wanted to buy a truck much older than this, like an OBS Ford, or like, a Cat Eye Chevy, or, I know that the Chevy guys don't like it when you call the GMC variant of that year a Cat Eye, but, a GMC Sierra from that same, era. But I found a deal on this truck, and despite the fact that it was a Dodge, and despite the fact that it's orange and not maybe the nicest color of orange, I couldn't pass it up, guys. And I'll get over here and I'll show you some of the reasons why me, who wanted a Ford or a Chevy, ended up buying an orange Dodge. So why did I buy an orange Dodge when I clearly wanted a Ford or some kind of General Motors product? Well, I did look at, I didn't even really go and look at any because the prices were just so bad, and they're still not very good. But, I looked on the internet at quite a few short bed, double cab, Sierras, and, even some Suburbans and stuff. And I almost went out and looked at, it was a extended cab, long bed, I believe, F-150. It might have had the EcoBoost in it, if that's even an option. It may not have been a long bed, but I could have swore it was a long bed, extended cab, F-150, but I wanted a V8, and I wanted a single cab long bed. Looking back now, I kind of wish that I had bought, something with an extended cab. Really, I could have got away with buying like a Tacoma or something for what I'm doing, but I always like the look of a full-size truck, long bed, single cab. And it has worked out good for me because I've hauled multiple couches in here and long work benches and a lot of stuff where it's just nice having a long bed. It sucks sometimes that you don't have as much interior room, but I have a car for that, so that's not really that big of a deal. But I saw this truck on the website of one of the bigger chain, well, not chain, but it's one of the bigger dealership groups around here. They have a Dodge dealer. Actually, they have two of them, but this was at one of their Buick dealers, not so close to where I live. It was actually pretty far, well, not really far, but it wasn't the closest drive in the world. I had to pass quite a few dealerships to go and look at this thing out in the middle of nowhere. And when I got there and saw it, the color, I was like, this is different. And actually, the truck looked really good when I went there to see it in person. It had chrome hubcaps on it, hiding the original rusted out steel wheels. They had spray painted my bumpers, which are starting to get rusty. But the more I started looking into this truck and the options that it had and really what it was, really couldn't pass it up. We'll talk about some of those options. As you can see, that badge there is one of them. But I did go ahead and put these Jegs D-window steelies on. They're 5x5.5, and I think they were really meant for guys running spacers on their Jeeps and guys with lifted like Ford trucks. But they fit on here, and I think they look pretty good orange against the black with that little bit of silver in the original center cap. So I got the Yokohama Geolandar ATs on here. Got a good deal on them from the Honda dealer. We deal with Tire Rack, and they cut me a deal, so that's pretty good. Let me know if you call it Geolandar or Geolander. I'm pretty sure it's Geolander, but at the Honda dealer we call it Geolandar. Anyway, I got 4 of them all the way around, and it's pretty nice. I don't know how well the dirt shows up on camera, but I do drive this thing. I took it out to a tractor show last weekend, so it was in the mud. And you run it through the car washes and stuff, and then you drive it home, and then you seem to have splashed a puddle. It's a truck. I'm not going to meticulously detail this thing every week because it ends up getting dirty again. Maybe we'll do a video of me going ahead and shining this thing up once I get everything on it, but then it'll probably again get muddy 8 seconds after I get done cleaning it. This rust here is the worst of the rust on the whole truck. It's a Dodge. Usually by now, I mean, this is a 2012. I've seen trucks from the same year or newer that are even more clapped out than this thing. Coming around to the back, you can see what I mean. These bumpers are rough, and that's going to be a video. We'll talk about that later. I love fossil fuels, guys. I'm going to buy a brand new sticker just to replace that one, because I saw that sticker on the Mike Finnegan website, and I was like, I got to have it. As you can see up here, Longbed Mafia forever. Ducks Unlimited. I am a paying member. That's not just, clout. I'm a paying member of Ducks Unlimited. I really like waterfowl, and I like what they do for conservation. And if you don't understand how conservation works, guys, part of conservation is actually hunting, because you got to keep the numbers in check and keep them where they are. Because if you overpopulate, you're going to end up harming the species far more than you're going to be doing it any good. So yes, guys, sometimes you got to do population control, which means hunting. So if you actually care about a certain population of animals, as long as they're not like completely and totally endangered, sometimes you got to level those numbers up. But like I said, these bumpers are kind of rough. And yes, I'll talk some options later about stuff I thought about doing, but what we're going to do in the end. I backed this thing into a pole, took a tail light out, so it got 2 brand new tail lights in it. Think I want to change those again. And then coming down on the outside of here, on her good side, like I said, yeah, she is a long box, and I like it. I like looking at it. Sometimes it's not the most practical truck in the world, but when you gotta haul a couch, she'll get you there. Some people might be wondering, where's your Ram 1500 logos on the doors? I think this truck was wrecked in a previous light. The driver's side never had that logo the whole time I owned the truck. The passenger side did. So rather than buy a new one for the driver's side and try to match it and make it look right, I just took the one off of the passenger side. Because honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of debadging. I more believe in run what you brung, but I think it looks a little bit better. I'm not trying to hide anything. This is a 1500. It's a 5 lug. You're never going to pass this off as a 25, 3500. There's a Hemi in it. You're not going to pass it off as what it isn't. So it's a 1500. I'm not worried about it. We all know that. So I took the badges off. Anyway, that's about it for the outside of the truck. So I guess it's time to talk about what makes this thing special compared to other 1500s of the era, and what some of the crazy stuff that they spec'd on this truck were. And yeah, let's get into it, guys. So the main thing you all noticed is the Hemi badge. That is one of the bigger things that makes this truck, I guess, kind of special. In 2012, you could have got one of 3 engines. The 3.7 PowerTech V6 last year for it, before they went to the 3.6 Pentastar. 3.6 Pentastar, not a good engine. Don't care what you say. I've seen them. I've seen what happens to them. I've seen them blow oil coolers, head gaskets. They're not good engines. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't care if you drive a V6 rental car, Challenger. I'll race you and win because I have the Hemi. I don't care that my truck is heavier. Anyway, could have got the 3.7, not the worst V6 in the world. Will always go down in history as being better than the 3.6. 3.7's better. Could have got the 4.7 Magnum, not the worst V8 ever. Or you could have got the 5.7 Hemi. And the guy that bought this truck spec'd for that. We'll open the hood in a minute, show it to you, prove it to you. I'm not running fake badges for clout. Sometimes people think it's fake because I only have the side exit tailpipe, like the V6. However, these work trucks did not come with an option for out the rear duals. So that's why we got that. The other crazy thing is this color, Tequila Sunrise Pearl Coat. Like I said, 2012. First year for that. Didn't see it on very many of these. Don't know if there's any other Longbed Tradesman out there with that color. But this one got it. I don't know why, but the original owner spec'd for it. Seen this color on some Sports and Expresses. It's had a couple come into the Honda dealer, believe it or not. We sold one a couple years ago to a guy, 4-door, chrome wheels, chrome bumpers. I've seen one of these out there with the color matched bumpers. But as far as I know, this is one of the only black lower with the upper plastics, Tradesman specs that I've seen. The rest of the crazy, things that they up badged for are inside. So I guess we can get in there and take a look at that. Looking inside the truck, yes, it's dirty. And no, that's not food or crumbs under my seat. That's my seat under the seat. The seat's falling apart. It's a 4th gen. She's getting close to 100,000 miles. However, the special thing about these seats are they are the cloth interior as opposed to the vinyl that these work trucks mostly would have gotten. The other thing is it has the carpet instead of the rubber floors. Honestly, I would have been fine with the vinyl and the rubber floors, but it is what it is. Getting up inside of the old girl, you'll see she does have, well, it just turned off. I'll turn it back on for you. She does have 99,226 miles on her, getting close to 100,000. But she has power locks, power windows. It is a 4-wheel drive truck, as you probably saw the badges on the outside. And she has the air conditioning in her. So altogether, the original owner of this truck spec'd for the paint color, V8 in the long bed, the 5.7 V8 in the long bed, AC, power windows, power locks, 4-wheel drive, carpet, and cloth seats. So basically, he more or less spec'd out for a long bed, like, Express, or a long bed, like, 1 or 2 up from base model in the long bed, which I don't think you could have got. I'm pretty sure the only thing you could have got a 1500 long bed in would have been a Tradesman till you got up. You could have got like an HD, 25 or 3500 Cummins in a long bed. But, yeah. So other than that, there's not a whole lot going on in here. We still have the stock radio. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on the test drive. But yeah, I think it's time we get under the hood. I turn this thing on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the stuff, and you'll be able to hear some of the stuff that's wrong with this truck. Yeah, I know she's a little bit loud, but there's your 5.7 Hemi. She has that power steering noise that they all have, but let her idle down a little bit. She's under there, 5.7 Hemi. Doesn't have the cold air intake on it yet. We're going to change that. I have it. Just need to put it on. That's going to be a video. But other than that, I mean, she doesn't really have super excessive noise coming out of this thing, other than that noisy screeching sound. That's par for the course on these things. But I just wanted to prove to you guys that the 5.7 Hemi is under the hood. It's there. You can look up here. 5.7 Chrysler Group. I know it sounds like I have an exhaust on this thing, but actually it's the lack thereof that we have. Yeah, I would crawl under there and show you, but we're on the ground on a hill, so I'll explain it to you. Basically what happened, the original muffler delaminated at the welds and it came apart. It rusted out and it just fell apart. It didn't fall off. I didn't cut it off. It's still under there. It's just not doing anything anymore. We have a new exhaust. I'll talk about it later. Other than that, the main issues with this thing, rusty bumpers need fixed, exhaust needs fixed. I have a cold air intake for it's going to need sway bar links at some point. That I don't know if I'm going to do a video on. I kind of want to put fender flares on it, but I don't know, because I would like to run the painted ones, but those are expensive versus we have just leaving this rust out. But what I think we're going to do now is we're going to take a test drive of this thing, and I'm going to tell you some more stuff about it. Then we're going to wrap this video up, and then I'll lay out what exactly is going to be going on in these next couple of weeks, months, rest of the year videos about the old hemispherical long box here, the 2012 Ram 1500 Tradesman in Tequila Sunrise Pearl Coat. Okay guys, a few more tidbits about the interior that I really forgot to mention. I'm running this aftermarket cup holder thing. Obviously if you would have got I think 13 or later, maybe it started after 13, but you would have got the newer center console that had the 3 cup holders in the top. In this truck you only get the fold down ones, so I went out and got this on eBay. Not too bad. Obviously your seats fold down. Has this cargo container back here. I keep my tools and some other junk in there, first aid kit, tarp, just tie downs and various stuff. You know, you could run seat belts in here, or you could run car seats in here if you wanted to carry your children in your single cab truck. Other than that, she does have the dreaded Hemi gas cap check engine light. It's not the gas cap. We replaced that a couple times. Really, I should put the smoke machine to it. However, I'm pretty certain that it's probably either evap canister, filler neck, or one of them little hoses that runs in between the two. So we'll fix that eventually. Anyway, let's get on with the test drive. Well guys, we're out here driving the Hemi Longbed now, and as you can hear, it's loud as hell. Because that exhaust is rotted out. I don't know that the exhaust we are buying is going to necessarily make it sound any better. However, well, I actually already bought the exhaust. However, in Pennsylvania, that exhaust rusted out the way that it is will never pass inspection. So that's why I ended up going and buying the new one. Overall, driving this truck isn't too bad. It doesn't feel quite near as big as it is. Honestly, it's not even that big. I apologize for this camera angle. However, no car mounting camera mounting stuff that I have produces anywhere near the kind of quality I need. So if you think that it's shaky and bad when I'm trying to drive and hold the camera, anything I do with a mount looks even worse. Well, like I said, driving this truck ain't too bad. It doesn't handle too bad. It does have shocks in the rear as opposed to leaf springs, so I mean, it's not that bad. But I mean, it tows well. I've towed a trailer with it. It drives well under load, so I mean, that's not too bad. But overall, it's not too bad of a truck. I have tried to sell it a couple of times because, you know, what I really want a Super Duty. The only thing is, at the end of the day, I can't really afford the Super Duty that I want, so I may as well really just keep this truck for the time being. The only reason I want to buy a bigger truck is because I'd like to have more seating capacity and I'd like to have more towing capacity. However, at this point in time, I really don't need to take very many people anywhere, and I don't really need to tow that much. Also, this truck, because of the color, because of having the V8 5.7 in it, and just because of all the stuff that I've done with it, I mean, this truck is it's become somewhat iconic. Not really. I mean, no one really outside of here knows anything about it, but I know about it, and people I know like it, and I like it, so I don't really see any reason to get rid of it anytime soon. However, like I said, it's a decent truck to drive. I like to go out and drive it wherever, you know. It handles well. The V8 sounds cool. More than enough engine performance for what I need to do. So it's not too bad. If you're looking into buying a 5.7 Hemi 4th gen Dodge, might as well. I mean, if you could find them. Obviously, you know, now with this newest iteration of the 5th generation, they're going to this Hurricane Inline 6. A lot of people were starting to buy those E-Torque V6 Ram trucks. So if you can get a good deal on a 5.7, especially if you could find a Hemi Longbed, I would say, you know, go for it. It's a good vehicle. It's fun to drive. Good hauling capacity, you know. I like it. It's a good truck. Does everything that I really needed to do. My only real complaints about it is the fact that it is what it is. You know what I mean? High school me would have probably liked this truck. I mean, high school me might not have liked the Dodge. I don't know. But, I mean, other than going out and buying a Super Duty, I don't really have any need for another truck. So, keep this for a couple years at least. But yeah, I mean, I tried to sell it. Nowhere that I tried to sell it could I get anywhere near what I think it's worth. And I'm not talking, oh, no low ballers, no tire kickers, I know what I have. I'm talking about, like, people legitimately were like, oh, well, it's a long bed work truck. Yeah, well, it's got the Hemi in it. I mean, it's not completely rusted out underneath. I mean, there's a lot of pros to buying this thing because, I mean, it's not completely clapped out for its age. I don't really think it was used as a work truck. I think the guy that owned it prior to me just wanted, you know, a long bed single cab, maybe to tow a John boat with or something. But other than that, I mean, this truck's in remarkable condition for the year. So, I mean, I'm not going to get anywhere near what I think it's worth. So I might as well just keep it for now. And since I want to keep it, that means I want to put, you know, the money into it. I just had to stomp on the brakes because double cab F-150 guy that looks like he ain't never hauled shit in his truck in his life thought it would be good to jump out in front of us. But don't get me into that thing because, you know, people will say, you know, yes, I'm not hauling a trailer every day for work. What do I need a truck for? There's guys out there that have bigger, more expensive trucks than me that never hauled anything. And I'm not the kind of guy to hate on anyone for no real reason. You got your money, go spend it how you want. But, geez, truck community is pretty divisive. Anyway, before I go down a rabbit hole I don't need to go down, I don't really have too much more to say. So we're going to go ahead, wrap this video up here. and yeah, put you down the road and tell you what we're going to be doing with this truck this summer, guys. Well, guys, that just about wraps up the video here today. But I told you that I'd give you a rundown on some of the things that are going to be going on with this truck. Like I said, it needs a couple things. Bumpers are going to need sanded down, repainted. Probably going to do a video on that. Got a cold air intake K&N. Probably do a video on that. I'd like to put an Apple CarPlay unit in here, get rid of the original radio. I've been using one of these, you can see it down here, one of these FM things for a long time now, and I'm starting to get pretty tired of that. It gets crackly, if it's raining or if it's too windy, and also, if you're in, I'd had to drive up to Moon Township one time. If you know anything about Pittsburgh, it's up north of Pittsburgh, and for whatever reason, it would not get reception up there at all. So, yeah, that's got to go. I'd like to put a set of seats in here. Like I said, my driver's seat's blown out. I'm sitting on a frame right now. However, seats for one of these trucks, super expensive. And then if you go to the junkyard, a lot of them are also torn out. So I need to find a set of seats out of something that either was driven by someone who weighed nothing and barely drove their truck, or seats out of something that got totaled pretty low in mileage. So I'm always on the lookout for a set of seats. It'd be awesome to put a set of Laramie seats in here, the brown leather seats. I think those would look super good in here. However, they want $1,200 to $2,000 depending on condition, and if you could even find them, because there's not a whole lot of sets even out there. Like I said, I do have brand new exhaust for this Flowmaster FX dual pipe out the side, dumped somewhere before the rear wheel. Gonna look sick. The only issue is the exhaust is so rusted out underneath that it's probably gonna need a little bit of cutting. So I might do it at work. If I can film anything at work, I might make a video on it. The only issue is, and maybe we'll make a short or something. A lot of people seem to watch them more so anyway. The only issue is, like I said, things at work, it's usually a lot easier if you don't film, and then, you're really probably not supposed to be filming in there anyway. So, might not be able to film the exhaust. Same thing with sway bar links. I mean, that's a pretty easy video. So I might not even do that either. However, there's still going to be a lot of great content on this truck. There's other things I want to do with it. And obviously, it's in a bunch of my other videos anyway, because usually I drive this thing anytime we go out to the middle of nowhere to look at something abandoned, because I don't want to take the new daily out into the mud pits. If you've watched older videos, obviously I got rid of the Impala to get this. Then I ended up buying a 1991 Civic for a while. That thing was fun. I wanted to do a lot of videos about that car, but that car ended up having a lot of issues, and I ended up just sending her on down. Ended up buying the auction Corolla. You might have seen that video. And then I ended up lucking into getting a car off a relative. They were done with it, basically. So rather than them sell it, they were nice enough to just, give it to me. So I ended up sending the Corolla on down to, I don't know if I'm going to film that other car, because it needs absolutely nothing. So it wouldn't really make for any good content other than just doing a tour of it. And, for the time being, basically if I need to make a quick video some week, maybe we'll talk about it. But until then, it's just another car. It's pretty low mileage. It's newer, and there's nothing wrong with it. So there's not going to be any videos on this. Unlike this truck, it seems like every other week something new needs done on this thing. So there'll be tons of content on this truck over the summer, intermixed with whatever else I end up doing. I'd like to get, some lawnmowers and other small engine stuff to work on. But it just depends on how the views do. And if you want to help that, if you want to help more content come out faster, better, it's pretty easy, guys. You don't even have to spend any money. Just subscribe to the channel so you know when and what I'm doing. like the video because the algorithm likes it. Comment down below what you think about what I'm doing. And yeah, tell a friend who might be interested. And yeah, just engage with the content. Our shorts do well on this channel. Lots of views on the short. If I post it at the right time, usually get 450 views on a short at least. But some of these videos, I might get 400 views on one video and then get 60 on the next. And I know it's because I'm not consistent with what I'm doing. And I share this all the time in the various videos that I do. If I could commit to doing builds full time, I know I'd get a lot more views. If I could commit to exploring full time, I'd probably get a lot more views. But unfortunately, this is a hobby, and working for Honda is my day job. So yeah, got to commit to that. You're working 40, 45, maybe more sometimes hours a week. So you got to commit to that sometimes, which means I only got like 2 days a week to film new videos, edit these ones and put them out. And I edit sometimes at night, after work, but it's like a lot of times I just want to go home and go to sleep, or sometimes I go hang out with people or do whatever. I'm single, so I don't really have a family to support or anything, but that might change someday. So it is what it is. But anyway, if you like the content and you want to keep seeing me do who knows what, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep getting this content out to you just as fast as we can. It'd be cool to do multiple videos a week at some point in the future if we're making money off of it or whatever, or if we just have a lot of stuff to share. But until then, we might experiment a little bit more with, the algorithm. So, who knows what day of the week you're watching this. For the longest time, we put videos out on Mondays. I did switch to Fridays. By the time this video comes out, we might be on a different day. I don't know. But I want to try to keep getting videos out once a week. I swore in 2022, or not 2022, I swore in 2023 that we were going to get into it heavy after we did some videos in 2022 and got some decent stuff going. I got frustrated in 2022, so kind of gave up on it. Beginning of 23, said I was going to get back into it, and we didn't really do too much. I kind of took the whole summer off, and then in 2024 so far, we've done pretty good. We've only skipped a couple weeks, and we've been doing shorts, and we've been trying to get back into it. So I'd like to keep doing it. It's something to do, and if it doesn't keep going, at some point, maybe we got to take a break. But I'd like to just keep putting content out, keep getting things out for you guys. So, like I said, thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time here. Maybe working on this truck, maybe doing something else. But we'll see you here on the Mike Falappi YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.